Following the rise of the Sith Lord Darth Sidious as Emperor of the Galaxy, he quickly consolidated his galactic empire with an iron fist. Paving the way for the Imperial rule were the Imperial Stormtroopers, which at this time in the expanded universe were clones of the late bounty hunter Jango Fett, who served as the Galactic Republic's clone troopers prior to the Emperor's ascendancy to absolute power. It was then that the Kaminoans found their homeworld placed under Imperial occupation by their own creations, and right after Revenge of the Sith, the Kaminoans immediately began a plan for a rebellion. Having made the mistake of indoctrinating the original Fett clones with absolute loyalty to the Republic, and therefore the Empire, the Kaminoans sought to rectify their error by discreetly breeding a new clone army from Jango Fett DNA that was completely obedient to their Kaminoan creators. While the majority of their army was composed of anti-troopers that were a special force of elite soldiers who were created to complement regular soldiers, hence the Kaminoans then engineered a new generation of advanced recon commandos, being the Rail-class ARC troopers. The Rail-class ARCs were trained by the Kaminoans with flash learning in the same way that others had been trained. The Rail-class were specifically favoring the Z6 rotary blaster cannon as their primary weapon, and these same ARC troopers were equipped with ARC variant Phase 1 armor, which included command pauldrons and commas. Their primary weapons were chain guns, and under the observation of the Kaminoans, the Rail-class ARCs and the rest of the Rebel clones were grown and trained for nearly a decade, and by 12 BBY they would participate in the Kamino Uprising, which officially never happened to the Imperial records, but unofficially it did. Approximately 20 years after the Kaminoans had created the first clone army for the Republic, Darth Vader sent the 501st Legion, led by a young Boba Fett, to destroy the Rebel clones and bring Kamino back into line with the Empire. While the anti-troopers defended Tipoca City's outer perimeter, the Rail-class ARC troopers remained within the cloning facility to protect the batches of undeveloped Rebel clones, which were loyal without question to Kamino and had no loyalty to the Empire, as the Kaminoans planned not just for the uprising, but also a potential galactic conquest as well after the rebellion. Despite their fast growth and training, the anti-troopers, and therefore the Rail-class ARCs, proved to be no match against Fett and the battle-hardened stormtrooper clones of the 501st Legion, many of whom were veterans of the Clone Wars. After storming the facility, Fett and his stormtroopers were suddenly engaged by the Rail-class ARCs, some of whom tried to take the fight outside to prevent the Imperials from breaching Tipoca City. However, this would prove to be a failure. However, despite a tough fight, the Rail-class ARC troopers' efforts proved to be in vain, and the life support systems would be destroyed on the planet, and therefore all of the unborn anti-troopers were killed before they had a chance to fight. With the rebel Kaminoans' capabilities to defend the city or grow another clone army severely diminished, they opted to escape from Kamino before the battle was completely lost. In the meantime, the last of the Rail-class ARC troopers joined the remaining anti-troopers as they desperately fought against the relentless Imperial clone brethren. Although they had fought hard, Fett and the 501st Stormtroopers succeeded in crowding the rebel clones onto platforms where they were defeated. With the death of the Kaminoan insurgents that bred the rebel clone army, the Rail-class ARC troopers perished along with the rest of the anti-troopers, and the clone rebellion not only ended in failure, but would never be publicly known since all information regarding the Kamino Uprising became highly classified. The Kamino Uprising is just such a fascinating piece of Star Wars lore, so let me know if you would like me to cover it more in depth later on in other videos. Also, there's another piece of Kamino's lore where Boba Fett discovered that they had cloned him from his DNA, so let me know in the comments if you'd like me to cover that in the future as well. Did you know about the Rail-class ARC troopers before this video? Did you play this level in the original 2005 Battlefront 2? Do you prefer what happened to Kamino in the expanded universe or in canon? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.